So basically, we can categorize a menstrual cycle in two phases. The fluctuation of hormones is what leads to fatigue, food cravings, mood swing, as well as bloating.
You have to ask roughly which week is the menstrual week, so then you know how to program the workout, because don't play with the hormones.
Some of the clients really need more care or empathy during their period time. Shall I say, thank you for still showing up. Maybe what to expect in your training is, I think it's important to give this kind of assurance so that they won't feel more bad after that.
As a female athlete, female coach, what would you like to say to our listeners?
I was really struggling with my body image. I actually went through a very extreme diet. You cannot imagine one. People might think that, oh, wow, you achieved the things that you want, it's so impressive, but it's actually the beginning of the nightmare. I was just so sick of that. The one golden piece of advice that I will give is,
It actually took some time for me to understand my body well. After start weight training, start CrossFit, it's not just the appearance, the physical, everything. I would love to use my own experience to educate my clients to have a good relationship to their own body.
it's my responsibility to teach, educate, and spread out this message to all the ladies out there so that they won't go through the same mistake again.
Welcome to the Move Well, Live More podcast, where we discuss topics from exercise and nutrition to health and lifestyle tips for your overall quality of life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Move Well, Live More podcast. I'm May, coach and educator here at Move. Today, we're going to dive deep into a topic that is pretty close to our heart because it's often overlooked in terms of female athlete. How can female athletes optimize their training according to their menstrual cycle? We hope that today, the discussion will empower both our female listeners as well as coaches that trains female clients to have the knowledge to optimize strength training as females, because very often the benefit outweighs the concern. So I hope that this does not only change the knowledge, but also the mindset that can help our female listeners and coaches to grow and have breakthroughs in our journeys. Now, joining us today are two extraordinary ladies that are not only dedicated coaches in our company Move, but also high-performing athletes. Let us welcome Wen Shian and Stephanie. Hello! Okay, ladies, please introduce yourself. Wen Shian.
Hello everyone, hi May, thanks for your intro. Hi, I'm Wen Shian, I'm the coach in Move Jalan Ampang, and I'm the powerlifting athlete that May mentioned just now.
I'm Stephanie from Move Jalan Ampang, from Sabah Tower as well. So I just moved to Move since 2 months ago, and I started my CrossFit journey since 2018. So it has been 5 years already in this sport.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. We will definitely get to know you a little bit more. Maybe Wen Shian, share with us what got you into powerlifting.
Well, I would say my fitness journey actually started when I was 16, 17 years old. To be honest, I was really struggling with my body image. And the commercial gym that I used to train to, right, most of the people there, they tended to evaluate one's achievement based on your physical appearance. Like they will see how well developed is your glutes and do you have defined abs. If you don't have, maybe, you have to work harder. There's no right or wrong for that kind of judgment. But for me, I was just so sick of that. So I would say after I have the chance to get exposed in the world of strength and conditioning, powerlifting world, I found that I really enjoy lifting massive weight. I found that after lifting a massive weight, I actually have regain my confidence. And this is where I found that, okay, it's the sport that I can really dive deep into. And I'm also happy that people nowadays, they start to preach that strong is the new sexy.
Oh, okay. Now, before we go on to the topic of strong is the new sexy, right? Maybe describe a little bit more about powerlifting, because definitely in the female world, I don't think that's a very common word. So
Okay.
what's powerlifting?
Okay, I would say powerlifting is a sport where people will compete to lift as much weight as possible in 3 specific exercises, which is your squat, your bench, and your deadlift. That's all.
Oh, just 3 movement and then you
Just
lift
3.
as heavy as you can.
Specificity. Yes,
Oh,
correct.
okay. But you don't just train those 3 exercises, right?
Yeah, we also have accessories to train for hypertrophy purpose, but specificity is there. 3 lift, squat, bench, and deadlift.
Oh, okay. All right. What about Steph? What got you into CrossFit?
Okay, so my story is a little bit similar with Wen Shian. I used to have self-body image issue as well. So I took slimming pills before, and then I took detox tea before, and then like, fat burning creams, I need to wrap the thigh for 10 minutes. I do that before. So after throwing so many monies in there, I still didn't get the result that I want. That's where I shift my focus to workout. Maybe I should exercise more. So I went to a commercial gym. It's a very old school commercial gym owned by a police. It's the nearest to my house, so that's how I got there. And then I just do the usual thing, go and do treadmill running for an hour. And then after get to know the police abang, they actually teach me how the basic movement like shoulder press, bench press. Yeah, so this is how the interest starts. So I use my gap year to take a certified fitness instructor course from FitM. And then I start working in the commercial gym as well. So the commercial gym owner is actually a Crossfitter. So this is how I start CrossFit.
Oh, okay. So same but different lah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. No, but I really like that you mentioned you actually go through the process of taking slimming pills, slimming cream, whatever, because it's a very good testament to our audience that actually shortcut doesn't work.
Yeah, yes,
like you really need to put in the effort. It's not a pill. It's not someone helping you to massage or wrap things around that it's gonna last that nice physique. The hard work still matters. So like for Wen Shian, I can see the relevance of your own body image coming first, and then that kind of like help you to become an athlete. But what got you to be a coach?
This is actually a good question. Actually, my decision in becoming a coach is actually not influenced by my sport. It's actually by my own transformation journey. Give a little bit of context, right? Like I mentioned just now, I was struggling with my body image. So at that time, actually, I tried, woke up really hard, and I actually went through a very extreme diet. You cannot imagine one.
Don't eat one time a day.
No.
Drink water only.
So the diet that I went through, right, is I'll eat kiwi and sweet potato as my breakfast, and I don't know why kiwi.
Usually people eat apple, you eat kiwi. Oh, yo.
I will eat kiwi and chicken breast or eggs as my lunch, and that's about it. That's my meals of the day. Of course, as a result, I managed to lose 16 kg in just 2 months' time because I was in a very huge calorie deficit, which is not recommended. So basically, people might think that, oh, wow, you achieved the things that you want, it's so impressive. But for me, it's actually not. It's actually the beginning of the nightmare, actually. Because after that, my immune system is really weak. I experienced low energy level, muscle loss, and then decrease in strength. So these are all the suffers that I have. I experienced this because I didn't have the knowledge that can actually lead me to better result. So after going through all these things, I found that it's my responsibility to teach, educate, and spread out this message to all the ladies out there so that they wouldn't go through the same mistake again.
Yeah, I think resonating to what you have just mentioned, many people think that by achieving a certain outlook, they will feel better. But that's not often the case. Like maybe there is a bit of feeling better in a sense of, oh, you see yourself slimmer. But in terms of emotional health, mental health, it's actually not necessarily better because you will not stop comparing. And it's just a vicious cycle. So, Steph, how did you get out from that body image like, oh, pill is the solution? What was the wake-up call for you?
I think that is more to my sports. Yeah, so since I started CrossFit, so there's a very fun story here. So when I first started CrossFit and I did talk to my friends, I say, I feel myself so fat. I shouldn't... I should work harder and do more workouts. And then my friend is like, I think you shouldn't come here. You should just go to a hospital and find a psychiatric because if there is something wrong in your brain. Yeah, I think that is like considered my wake-up call lah. So the community is like spreading positive vibes to me, educate me as well. A little bit took some time for me to have realized about this.
Okay, maybe also let our listeners know what is CrossFit about, because why does CrossFit make you like feel like you look fat? What do you have to do in that sport?
I mean, I look fat because I used to think myself as fat. Okay, for those who don't know what CrossFit is, so CrossFit is a strength and conditioning workout which made up of functional movements at the high intensity level. So it includes Olympic weightlifting. So you can see like in the TV, the clean and jerk, snatch. Yeah, I do that. Okay, so Olympic weightlifting and also a little bit of cardio and gymnastic, but at the very high intensity level lah.
Okay, so like you do pull-ups and all that, right? Muscle up.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay. Have you ever gotten injured before?
I would say that I'm not an ego athlete because I know when to stop. I know my body. I understand like if I don't feel like pushing that weights, I will stop. And then if I feel myself is very tired, I will just give myself a break.
Okay, all right. Interesting that you brought up the word ego athlete because a lot of time when we look at athlete, right, there is always a comparison between male athlete and female athlete. And male athlete somehow seems to be the standard of performance.
Stereotype.
Seems to be.
Okay.
Not my opinion, but general population seems to think that everything that a guy do in terms of sports, usually it's more interesting. You have more viewership as well. So I would like both of you to actually educate our listeners. Like, what are some physical limitation that female athlete has, but at the same time could be an advantage that people don't know? Wen Shian, can you talk a little bit more about the specific challenge for yourself when it comes to your sports as a female athlete?
I would say for my sport, it's actually not physical limitation. I mean, what I'm trying to share here is my personal struggle. My personal struggle here is actually the PMS, the premenstrual cycle syndrome. So my symptom will be bloating, mood swing, no motivation. So I think my main struggle is I have to deal with all these symptoms and also still need to make sure my training is up to standard.
Okay, so it's not so much sports specific per se. Okay, what about Steph?
Okay, so for CrossFit, it's a little bit complicated. Okay, so how's the programs looks like? I was under a coach programming lah, so he's from Sabah. His name is Coach Cheyenne. So how's the program looks like? At first, we'll do the strength first. So the strength part is like we will do Ollie lifting, like snatch, clean and jerk, some compound movement, strength training as well, like front squat, back squat. Upper body will be like push press, strict press, something like that. After the strength part, strength training, then we will move to the Metcon. So what is Metcon? So Metcon is basically mixture of everything, a little bit of Ollie lifting, a little bit of gymnastic, and a little bit of cardio, but doing it in a very high intensity level. And then after that, it took about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And then we go to accessory. So accessory is something that you want to work on your weaknesses. So if you want to polish your weightlifting movement, then you go for that. Or you want to polish your gymnastic, then you just do the gymnastic accessory. So I will usually go to that route lah. So in terms of like physical limitation, I would say definitely for me and maybe major female athlete would say is the upper body strength. I work very hard to get my first pull-up, and I work extra hard to get my first bar muscle up, and now I'm still struggling with my ring muscle up. So yeah, so I would say that upper body strength is my physical limitation when it comes to my training.
By the way that you describe CrossFit, I don't have to do it. I also feel tired.
Luckily, I'm not in CrossFit field.
Yeah.
Okay, but that being said, what is the advantage of becoming or being a female athlete in CrossFit?
I would say it's the flexibility or the mobility because, guys, sometimes like, because when doing Olympic weightlifting, we tend to have a lot of like skills things. So if you cannot, at the receiving position, you cannot, like at the correct movement, you will usually like fail the lift, or you cannot squat low to catch the bar when doing squat clean, stuff like that. I would say it's the mobility. Female tend to have that advantage.
That's true as well. I mean, from a physiological point of view, guys do have more muscle. More muscle means more tension, which then equate to less flexibility, potentially less range of motion, unless they work on that. At least there is, a check and balance, I suppose, even though we some points we might be more limited, but not all the time. Wen Shian, you mentioned menstrual cycle. I think it's very common that this kind of obstacle happens. I mean, even for myself, I will consider myself to be more on the lucky side because I don't have like period cramps.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Actually, me too.
Huh?
Yeah, just now I said I didn't really.
Lucky.
So I'm the only one who struggle.
You're lucky.
Okay, but that being said, even though I don't necessarily experience period cramp, but it's true that menstrual cycle makes me feel different depending on one phase to another. And personally for myself, I think I feel it more like PMS, but not so much on bloating and mood swing, but just like heat. Like I feel like a lot warmer. But before we go into all the symptoms, maybe I'm just gonna talk a little bit more about what menstrual cycle is and then general signs as to why we experience those fluctuations. So basically, we can categorize a menstrual cycle in two phases. One is called follicular phase, and then another one is called luteal phase. So for the follicular phase is basically from day one of your period up to the point of your ovulation. So this is the period whereby our body has a little higher of estrogen, which we should be taking advantage of, especially Wen Shian for you, right? Estrogen is a hormone that actually helps to facilitate muscle repair as well as include your motivation. It makes your body more resilient to stress. So if you need to like lift heavy, I would say this is the best time to program to try and, break some records. But for the second half of the cycle, which is the luteal cycle, that is where most people experience the PMS. Reason is because there is a rise and fall of the two hormones called progesterone and estrogen. And the fluctuation of hormones is what leads to fatigue, food cravings, mood swing, as well as bloating. So recognizing that second half of the cycle tends to be a little bit more difficult, this is where, as a coach, usually I would recommend clients to go a little bit easier on this phase. And we can also talk a little bit more about what are the little tips that may help in during this particular phase. But Steph, for you, you did mention that you had pretty bad cramps.
Yes.
How do you structure your training program around your menstrual cycle?
So usually my PMS is quite bad. I have very bad mood swing and bloated. So
you got PMS and cramp.
yes, worst combination.
Okay, all right.
So during the PMS week, I will take it very easy. I know that, okay, it's coming next week. For example, like my back squat, I should do 80% of my 1 rep max, but I would reduce to 60 or 65.
Okay. What is 1 rep max?
1 rep max is your heaviest lift.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So the maximum weight that you can lift for
Okay.
1 repetition.
Yeah, yes. So my 1 rep max is 105 kg. So that is my 100%. Yeah, so during the week before period, I will deload myself.
Okay. Wen Shian, do you schedule your training according to your menstrual cycle?
Actually, for my training, I didn't really intentionally schedule because my coach didn't schedule that way. But I think because just now I mentioned, my syndrome is actually not that bad, not like Stephanie, that kind of cramp, but my syndrome is just I have to deal with my mental more lah, because it's all about losing motivation, mood swing. So my approach would be, first of all, depends on the day as well. So if let's say the days where I feel really losing motivation, really fatigue, what I will do is I will adjust my training intensity. If let's say the symptoms is not that bad, I will still push through the training. But most importantly, I think, is to always communicate with your coach. I will let my coach know what changes that I made so that she's also aware.
Okay. And Steph, for you, right, you did mention that you have cramps. How long does the cramp last?
So usually my cramp just 1 day.
Oh, just 1 day.
Yeah, yes. So usually day 1, I will skip my training, just give myself a rest. And then day 2, I'll go back to the gym, but I'll do something very light. For example, I will go more to the machine, like row and bike, reduce the weights, a little bit of cardio thing. And then day 3, I just go back to the routine.
Wow, day 3 itself.
Yes.
Okay. I think this is where I really need to highlight that every single individual is different. So whatever that we shared today, it's not a blanket statement. It's not this is going to happen for each and every one of you. 3 of us are testament, we experience different form of discomfort or I guess need of deloading because of our slight underperformance. But talking about performance and stuff, I really like that you mentioned day 3 itself, you are back to normal training. Because it sounds like what we have described, it's PMS, which is before period. But I also recognize that there are quite a number of female things that when they have their menses, which is during the period, that 7 days, it's a no workout time. What are your thoughts on that, Wen Shian?
I think at the end of the day, it really depends. Like just how you mentioned, like 3 of us experience different things during our period. So it really depends how bad the individual feel during their period. So I have my friends that they will really suffer during their period. The first 4 day, 3 day, 4 day, they will experience cramp, pain. And I have people like me or me myself didn't really feel pain. So it just
lazy.
Yeah, losing motivation.
No, yeah.
So I think depends on how bad the situation is and also listen to your body. But don't let the excuse...
What excuse?
Don't let be that excuse for you to be lazy.
Correct, you know me. She say, not me.
So by the conversation, I think Steph is the most hardworking one. Day 3, straight away, go all out already. Okay, but it's easy for us to say as a coach that we want to get back into training ASAP. Maybe can either one of you share a little bit more about your client's experience when it comes to training around menstrual cycle?
My case a bit special because when clients come to me, there's like all out and full determination. I want to achieve my goal. I want to run full marathon, and then I want to lose that weight in these 3 months. So even their period, they don't let me know. They just come. But I can look from the face. It's like, hey, why this weight you are doing like very easy, but today seems like a bit tired. Then I will ask her, are you on your period? Oh yes, but I can do. I won't skip. Yeah. So a bit special case for mine lah.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. I mean, it's good to know that not coaches share this sentiment, but when clients are determined with their goals and what they want to achieve, it's really like committed to the training. What about Wen Shian?
I think for me, I do have clients like Steph client, like very semangat one. So I think for client who really don't have any symptoms or don't have really like any struggle during their PMS or during their period, it's okay. If they don't have any comment or if they don't have any complaint, you can just treat them like normal. But I mean, some of the client really need more care or empathy during their period time. So my approach would be, I will understand my client's symptom first, and during their period time, I will give extra care, extra empathy. And also, most importantly is to manage their expectation. For example, my client come to me, they're very honest one. I think they are very comfortable with me. They will say, my auntie is coming. They will say, I think my auntie is coming. I think my mood really bad now because I'm having period now. First thing I will do is I'll give assurance or affirmation. I'll say, thank you for still showing up even though you don't really feel good. Maybe what to expect in your training is you will see slightly drop of your performance, but I would like to let you know that it's still okay. So I think it's important to give this kind of assurance so that they won't feel more bad after that. Yeah, so this would be my approach, extra care, extra empathy.
Okay, but we have been focusing a lot more on, our female clients and female listeners. The next question is, how would you advise our dear coaches, which 70% of them are guys, males, what advice would you give them when it comes to helping their female clients in training during the period phase?
Find a girlfriend as soon as possible so that you will know.
They might need your help on that. I'm not saying all, but some of them might need to go through that before understanding how to help. Steph?
I would say during the consultation, like once the client is confirmed with you already, you have to ask like roughly which week is the menstrual week, because like usually training is like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So for example, week 3 is the menstrual cycle week. So then you know lah, week 2 how to program the workout and try to be, as Wen Shian mentioned just now, be more empathy and be more easier as well, because don't play with the hormones, don't play with the PMS. Yeah, they'll kill you.
Okay. Thank you, Steph, for bringing that up, because it's not a necessarily comfortable conversation to have with someone that you first met. But I believe with the right explanation and reasoning,
Yes.
it's definitely a worth conversation to have, information to get right from the get-go, so that you don't suddenly train halfway. It's like, why this client suddenly like so not enjoying my training workout? It's unnecessary to have this kind of doubt when you could have planned a bit earlier to know about the cycle. Yep. For me personally, when it comes to training clients and during this period time, one thing I would work on more is exercise selection. So for example, female clients, when they come in, usually they have one goal. I want to look toned. I want to have six packs, abs. So they will ask for exercise like crunches. The time that I would not introduce crunch would be the period time. Because imagine, Steph, you got period cramp, and I tell you, Steph, let's do crunches. You're gonna kill me, right?
I'm already like crunching all the time. This position.
For podcast listener, they might like cannot see you.
So that is like isometric crunch for a few minutes to up to hours.
Yeah.
So no need workout already. Yeah. So for coaches, really do bear in mind that certain exercise during period time, it's not so ideal, especially very isolated core workout. So do have it in your library to substitute when necessary. So yeah, that would be my advice for coaches when it comes to dealing with that period phase of training. Okay. After talking about exercises, do you think there is anything to add on in the terms of things to take note of when it comes to period time? Like, do you look into hydration or nutrition specifically, adapting accordingly to the cycle? Personally, for yourself first.
I think personally for myself, one of my PMS syndromes is also craving.
Oh,
Crave for chocolates. I believe Steph also. Crave for chocolate, crave for sweet things. Then when the moment I feel like I crave for chocolate, I know my period is coming. Yeah.
Okay. Cravings. Steph, yours chocolate, anything else?
Everything.
Everything.
Especially fried chicken, chips, chocolates. I just want to eat everything in a day. And then after that, I can.
Oh.
Yeah. My craving just one day.
Like the day before? Just the day
No,
before?
PMS, like that week, one day only I will crave.
Oh,
And then I will
interesting.
eat everything. I order fried chicken and I eat chips and chocolates. One day, gao tiam. And then continue like my usual routine.
Okay. For me personally is because like I feel like the temperature rise. Sometimes it's warm enough for me to not sleep well. So I recognize like when I fall asleep, right? Suddenly there is a continuous like 3 to 4 days that I just feel so hot just before I fall asleep. That's my signal of, oh yeah, I think my period is coming. Yeah. But I don't know if, is it the same for you guys?
Mine is I can't sleep well. I love like nightmares.
Oh.
That is where I know the signal is coming.
Okay.
Are you the lucky one?
I think I'm lucky. I can sleep well all the time. No worries. But I will also experience the same like me, body temperature. But before that, I thought it's because I'm wearing pads. So it's very hot.
Okay,
But it's true, right?
It depends. Okay, let's not.
can
No,
get a
I'm
mean one.
very tempted. I know.
Yes, right. You can get a mean one.
Okay, anyway, let's not sidetrack. The reason why I want to bring this up is because there are like little kind of like awareness can be built. For example, cravings. The fluctuation of hormones is actually the reason why the body experiences that craving, because it affects our blood glucose level. When it's not stable, when it drops too much or it fluctuates, you will have this craving to eat more carbs, more sweet stuff. This is where I think it's also very important to let our listeners know it's not a bad thing that they have a craving, and it's not necessarily like they should not give in to the craving. It just happens. It's a response from the body. But more importantly is, how do you manage that? Recognizing that food craving is just something that you can address, but do not let it take over your commitment to your goals. So for example, if you are supposed to be losing weight, then you still need to be in a calorie deficit. So instead of eating dairy chocolate, maybe you can eat dark chocolate, something like that. Or instead of having 3 to 4 pieces of chocolate, you can have 1. Yeah, so those are something that I would like to share, just so that people don't feel guilty when they have food cravings. It's very lucky, the two of you, not having too drastic. I mean, aside from
she's
Steph,
not lucky, okay?
sorry. I mean, Wen Shian, you're very lucky. Coming to an end, right? As a female athlete, female coach, what would you like to say to our listeners to empower them in the journey of strength training?
I would say the one golden piece of advice that I will give is start weight training now. Start lifting weight, because I can share a story of my client. It's a true story. Before she trained under me, right, she was suffering with her mental. She was suffering with her self-confidence, and she's a housewife and she has 2 kids to juggle, to take care. When she approached me, her goal is, she told me she want to lose weight. After that, when I worked with her for 3 months, 4 months, like after knowing her more, I realized that what she really want is not losing weight, because she's actually skinny already. I mean, not skinny, quite lean already. So what she really want is to be strong, physically and mentally. So when we start to lift weight, when I start to let her do deadlift, some like weightlifting stuff, she actually gained more confidence, like how I did last time. And she felt that she's capable to perform even small, like even daily tasks. She's able to be independent. I think it's a breakthrough for her already. So she talked to me, she shared with me, she said actually she didn't expect that. She thought that weight training is just about physical appearance. But what she experienced is actually a mindset breakthrough. Now she feel that lifting weight helped her to have more confidence, ease her life, and it's become her lifestyle already. So I'm very happy for her. And I really encourage all of the ladies out there to start lifting weight.
Steph, what about you? Do you have any interesting or life-changing story to share with us?
I think I will use my own story. So after start weight training, start CrossFit, it's not that just strong in physical, but also mentally, where I mentioned just now, I have a group of friends, a good community, educate me to be happy and strong. It's not just, the appearance, the physical, everything. I always tell my clients, I always ask them, how you feel after the training. It's not just right after the training, but how you feel like in your daily life. Do you feel stronger, more energy? Stuff like that. So it actually took some time for me to build understand my body well. I used to train too much and no rest for myself. Hello, you are working so hard for the 3 weeks already. So there is 1 week, the menstrual cycle. It's a good excuse for you to rest lah.
Reason.
Yeah,
accept the pain.
Because of my job as well, I enjoy talking with people, and I would love to use my own experience to educate my clients to have a good relationship to their own body.
I like how Steph ends it, because to me, listen to both of you, the biggest takeaway that I have is to have good relationship with your own body. Not about what other people think, not about how it looks like, but genuinely how you feel about your body. Are you comfortable to be in your own body? Do you feel good about it? Do you feel proud about it? The bonus is of working out, doing strength training, is ultimately it does get you to have a better looking body with consistent effort and commitment to living a healthy lifestyle. It all ties together, the physical health, the mental health, the emotional health. Once you start addressing it through strength training, it will come along the way. It may not be in 1 week time, 2 week time, but 3 months, 6 months, the difference is going to be there and they are awaiting for you. So that's my biggest takeaway. Thank you for listening. Hope that this empowers you to move well and live more. Wen Shian and Steph, where can our listeners find you? Wen Shian?
I'm not sure whether nowadays people still using Facebook, but you can find me at IG. My Instagram name is @Wen_move.
So you guys can find me and Wen Shian. So we both at Move Jalan Ampang. You guys can come and see us. And then my Instagram is Stephanie_QI, and same with my TikTok account as well.
Wow, TikTok influencer. If you have enjoyed this episode, please help us to reach out to more listeners by sharing it into your socials. You can also send any questions to us through our Instagram account at Move Private Fitness. DM us and we'll see what we can do. Join us next time for more practical lessons as well as inspiration, so that we can help you to move well, live more, and have good quality of life. In the meantime, keep moving well, feeling well, and living more. Bye guys!
Bye bye.